What's up, guys? So I'm in Red Rock on some trail today, and it's getting a little sketchy because it's getting bouldery in some areas. So I decided this would be a good spot to turn around and stop and do the video and call it a day probably. But it's super pretty. So everybody asked for, well, not everybody, handful of people asked for the parts on my bike from the last video. So I'm just gonna go through, try to make this pretty quick and name off the parts that I remember. So this is a 2014 Triumph Scrambler, and I guess I'll start from the front. So the headlight bucket is from Dime City Cycles, and it is the classic British chrome, and they have it in black and chrome. I don't know how many other colors, but it's pretty high quality. I fitted a Cyclops Adventure LED bulb in there. I think it's like the 7400 lumen whatever, and it's super bright. It's amazing. Like, that's probably one of my favorite things on the bike. Keeps that classic look, but it's super bright. And I just had to hollow out with a drill the hole in the bottom a little bit to fit all the wiring because it was a little too small. But then I have the Motone polished bobbed front fender, and that's pretty nice. It's scratched up a little bit since from working on my headlight. I set things on there like a dummy, but looks pretty good. And then they have the Motone headlight brackets, the high-tech speed turn signals, or high-speed tech. I don't really know what they're called, but they're so bright. I used to run them in back before I got my fender eliminator kit, and they were, I mean, they're brighter than the light I have now, but yeah, they were amazing. And what else do I have? These instrument gauge cluster or housing were actually thermos lids. I saw it on Triumph Rat, so I decided I'd try it. I called Stanley, the outdoor company, and told them I wanted to just purchase the 17-ounce vacuum jar or thermos, I can't remember what it was, lid, and for replacement, because I knew they wouldn't just send me the lid, and they ended up just sending them to me for free. They said, okay, we'll send you one for free. So I was like, well, actually I wanted two, and so they sent me two for free, so I got those for free. And I just took them, dremeled out the inside a little bit because there's a big plastic lip, and then I drilled some holes in the bottom for the housing. I just lined them up with the OEM buckets and tapped them with a Sharpie, then drilled that spot, and then I did a little water evacuation in back of them. And then this button, I put a whole bunch of grease on the inside, and it's just from the hardware store. I cut it down a little bit shorter than it was, just to only use the part that I needed, and plus it's already pretty big. But it looks pretty good from the top of the cluster. I was worried it would be too long, but it looks pretty good. Only sticks out about 1/4 of an inch, half an inch. And then I have these levers from Dime City Cycles. They're the Triumph adjustable levers. I think I wish I went with the shorties, just because these rub against my pinkies when I shift and brake and stuff. But they're good. I've had them for about 2 years, and they've never faded or broken or anything. So these are the CRG lane splitters. And they're nice because when I go in between cars to get into my garage and stuff, I can just fold them in so I'm not hitting anything. And British Customs master cylinder. It's probably about half the size, holds about half the amount of the stock one, but does the job. It's fine. And then I have the Biltwell tracker bars and Biltwell grips. I'm probably gonna switch to the Moto bars from Biltwell, but yeah, it was a good look for a while. I'm just ready to change it up. And then I have the Aero exhaust. I actually got this from a guy on Craigslist in town, that he was like putting his bike back to stock to sell it back to the dealer because they weren't giving him any more money for the exhaust. So I picked that up for like 300 bucks. This is a steal. And have the LSL chains or sprocket cover. Doesn't do much, but looks cool. Makes, you know, my shoe won't get stuck in there, I guess. That's pretty much all it'll do. But I get a lot of chain lube and stuff dripping below it, so I have to clean my bike a little bit more often. Well, I guess I don't have to, but I do. And then I have the Olin suspension. I like it. I honestly can't tell a major difference over stock, but I got them for a deal and they look cool, and they're a little bit better and they're adjustable. So if I were to ever get like a Thruxton or something, I could throw them on there, which is nice. And what else do we have here? I have the British Customs slammer seat. Got that off Craigslist too. I'm a Craigslist shopper. Got that for like 200 bucks. And it's super nice. It's quite a bit taller than the stock seat, so I can definitely tell a difference. I can flat foot the ground still, but it's probably about 1.5 inches taller than stock. And I have these Stahlbus speed bleeders. They make it just a little bit easier to bleed your brake lines. I did it one time without speed bleeders, and after that I was like, all right, screw this, I'm not gonna have anybody help me, so I might as well get these. And they're super easy. I've never got air in the line. It's super easy to do by yourself and just not necessary, but makes life a little bit easier. And then going to the back, I have the Dankai Customs Sissy, and this is their smallest one they have. This is called the Tracker, and they actually put holes in here for me because I used to run the same brake running turn light as I have up front, and they were so incredibly bright I wanted to keep them, so they drilled me some holes right there so I could run them. But now that I have the Motobox fender eliminator, I took those off. And so yeah, I have the Motobox eliminator in back. Goes pretty perfect with this sissy. It's pretty bright. The turn signal and everything is pretty impressive. I don't know if it's gonna pick it up on camera, but yeah, it's pretty bright. And I'll turn the turn signal on. See if you guys can see that. As you know with these LEDs, like everything's way more noticeable at night. But I'm running all LEDs on the bike. And so I think I actually have a flash thing in my under the side cover that regulates the LEDs, because when I first put them on, they were all like flickering way too fast and there was too much power going through them. So that evened it all out. Oh, I have the Motone Monza gas cap, and this was super cool because I would always take off my gas cap when I was on the bike and put it behind me on the seat, and then it would slip off, or I don't know, it'd just be a hassle. So this, I just pop open. It's super easy. Doesn't have a lock, that's my only gripe, but it's okay. Other than that, I think that's pretty much it. I have the Triumph Twin Power Stage 1 induction kit in there, so that does the tune for the exhaust, take out the snorkel, it has a air filter, whatever. I can't really remember all that comes with it, but I think that pretty much sums up all the parts I've done to the bike. So if you guys have any more questions about anything on here, just ask. I'll be better about answering them this time. But yeah, there's the 2014 Triumph Scrambler.